Ever since the release of the Fazbear Frights books, many people had started believing in a theory called Golden Duo. Now, to me, I believe that this is one of the biggest misconceptions that the community has ever done. I mean, this whole thing started with Epilogue 4 and Epilogue 5 of Step Closer and Bunny Call, when the two spirits of the Stitch Wraith named Jake and Andrew. Many people use this story as evidence. Well, in this video, I am going to be explaining of what Golden Duo is and why it doesn't work with the story. Okay, where do I even begin with this? Oh yeah, I'm gonna be explaining, in this part, I'm gonna be explaining what Golden Duo is, and throughout the rest of the video, I'm gonna explain why it doesn't work with the story. So, Golden Duo is a theory stating that Golden Freddy is possessed by two spirits, and that is Cassidy and the bite victim. Well, I see many people had using the Stitch Wraith stingers and the story, that story as evidence. So yeah, that is why I am making this video, to explain of what it is and why it doesn't work with the story. So without any further ado, let's get into the details and start the speculation. Okay, I've seen many people using this as evidence for Golden Both because that the faded text is an altered text from the edit text. Like, seriously? I don't think this is good enough evidence. And I'm gonna show you why this is not good evidence for Golden Both. The whole purpose of this logbook is that we're supposed to solve the identity of who is inside Golden Freddy, and the faded text of what do you remember and do you remember your name, we go to this word search, and what do we get in altered text? Cassidy. We find the identity of Golden Freddy, but if you look on the bottom of the word search, you can see it says, what is your name? Many people have dismissed this because of the two spirit in the logbook theory shit. Also, so yeah, and there is more evidence that the logbook doesn't support Golden Both. Okay, so I know I said that many people use the faded text and the edit text as evidence for Golden Both, but there's a problem. Yeah, when the edit text says it was for me on chapter 4, and get this, it's at the end of chapter 4. However, A few pages later to chapter 5, there's a faded text that says, "The party was for you." And "the party was for you" was a few pages after the words "it was for me." Like, why would the second spirit say it was for me when "the party was for you" was on chapter 5 and "it was for me" is on chapter 4? Yeah, I provide this weak evidence for Goldenbelf. If you don't think that's convincing, well, there's more evidence where that came from that doesn't support Goldenbelf. Okay, so now that we got the logbook thing out of the way, now let's get into the evidence of Golden Duo, and I am going to speculate them and debunk them. The stories I want to focus on are the new kid, Fetch, the real Jake, the 1:35 a.m. epilogue, the Step Closer epilogue, and the story Together Forever, because this is what people use as evidence for Golden Duo, and I'm going to try my best to debunk each and every one of them. Okay, so I'm using this first because I've seen many people starting to be convinced ever since this book came out, and I'm gonna speculate them. So this story is about two characters, Devin and Kelsey, but it's most likely about Kelsey. Kelsey gets all of the attention from other people around, and that made Devin really jealous. So he was convinced that Kelsey was a robot, and he wanted to prove his theory. So they went to an abandoned Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and found a golden Freddy spring lock suit, and it looks like it was made for Kelsey because Kelsey was already gonna go in the suit, and then the spring locks failed, and then it killed Kelsey. This made people start to believe in Goldenbelf, but here's the problem. When Devin went back to Freddy's to check on Kelsey, Kelsey wasn't in the suit anymore, and instead finding a curly black haired child in the suit, and it bite on Devin's arm. Also, in Devin's dreams, he saw Kelsey as a zombie. That's a very interesting detail. And at the end of the story, Kelsey was completely fine. So yeah, I guess that's it for the new kid. In the story Fetch, it's about a teenager boy named Greg, and he and his friends explore the abandoned Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and while exploring, they found an animatronic dog for a grand prize. Greg really wanted the dog, and when he went back to Freddy's, he got the dog, and the dog was named Fetch. And throughout the story, he told Fetch Greg's future wife, Kimberly. And Greg was convinced that something was wrong with Fetch, so at the end of the story, he got his bat and killed Fetch. But at the end of the story, Fetch was fine, and then he gets the last text called "See You." In this story, Jake was a 9-year-old boy with brain tumor, and yeah, he wasn't feeling well, so he stayed home and talked to a doll named Simon. And at the end of this story, Jake passed away, and it seems very likely that his soul possessed the Simon doll, while Andrew's soul was in Fetch's battery pack. So yeah, that's all I have to say about this. At 1:35 a.m., a scientist named Dr. Phineas Taggart was creating a new special robot. This robot is the Stitch Wraith, and he combines it with an endoskeleton, Simon's head, and Fetch's battery pack. As says in this book, 1:35 a.m., he called it the dog's battery pack. And yeah. And this is what made people believe in Golden Doe. However, many people never realized that before the Stitch Wraith was even created, those two objects, they were already possessed by the time in the creating of the Stitch Wraith, and the Stitch Wraith killed Phineas. So yeah, this is all I had to say about Epilogue 3. In this epilogue, we are introduced by two spirits, Jake and Andrew. Jake introduced himself to Andrew, and Andrew said that he doesn't remember anything, but Jake says that his memory is kind of fuzzy, and Andrew responded with, yeah, fuzzy, but Andrew did remember that he wants to get back at someone who had hurt him. He remembered he attached onto a man, and many people working at there were trying to kill him, but he said that he wasn't going to let him go until he was ready. He also remembered that he put his soul inside of Fetch's battery pack, a battery pack that is in the Stitch Wraith right now. So yeah, that's pretty much I had to say. Oh, and one more thing. Andrew admitted to Jake that he just wanted to scare people, but Jake said that the Zap were killing people, and Andrew said that is not what he wanted at all. So yeah, Jake was convinced that there's something else inside of the Stitch Wraith. Now we are on to our last story for this theory, and that is Together Forever. So this story is about a future homecoming queen named Jessica and his friend Brittany. Brittany was very proud of Jessica being the homecoming queen, but when those two is a parallel to Golden Freddy, but it looks a lot like Pig Patty. However, the programming is very suspicious. Programmed to grab kids and make them trapped inside the belly. However, during of Rosie programming, the two sophomores, Jessica and Brittany, wanted to get to class first so they can see Rosie Porkchop in action. So they waited and waited until Rosie programming was on, and then it captured Brittany and put her inside. Brittany was screaming and panicking, and Jessica was trying to find a way to get Brittany out of there, but she failed. And then Rosie Porkchop attacked Jessica and grabbed her into her stomach, and then she can hear Brittany's voice inside of the pig, but he heard the voice and it's actually Brittany's voice. And then Jessica was trapped in there. This is what many people use as evidence for Golden Belt, but here is the problem. Jessica was grabbed inside of Porkchop's belly, but the bite victim died at a hospital, so how can he possess Golden Freddy if he is already in the hospital? That's literally impossible to do. And yeah. But however, I'm gonna prove that Rosie Porkchop's programming is very similar to Circus Baby. Circus Baby has programming of luring kids to her and opens her stomach cavity and then grabbing kids and pulling her inside her belly. Here is the voice lines from Circus Baby.
Did you know that I was on stage once? It wasn't for very long, only one day. What a wonderful day, though. I was in a small room with balloons and a few tables. No one sat at the tables, though, but children would run in and out. Some were afraid of me, others enjoyed my songs. Music was always coming from somewhere else, down a hall. I would always count the children, I'm not sure why. I was always acutely aware of how many there were in the room with me. 2, then 3, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 2, then none. They usually played together in groups of 2 or 3. I was covered in glitter. I smelled like birthday cake. There were 2, then 3, then 5, then 4. I can do something special. Did you know that? I can make ice cream. Although I only did it once. There were 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. Something happened when there was 1. A little girl standing by herself. I was no longer myself, and I stopped singing. My stomach opened, and there was ice cream. I couldn't move, at least, not until she stepped closer. There was screaming for a moment, but only for a moment. Then other children rushed in again, but they couldn't hear her over the sounds of their own excitement. I still hear her sometimes. Why did that happen?
Here by the voice lines, Circus Baby literally said that she was no longer herself when a young girl entered the room. This girl is most likely Elizabeth, and when Circus Baby says that she wasn't in control of her programming, it almost sounded like that the spirit was in control of her body into killing Elizabeth. appearance, we can see that Circus Baby's eyes were already green at that point. And in the minigame, Circus Baby has blue eyes during the killing of Elizabeth. And when she said she was no longer herself, that means a spirit was in control of killing her. Now, what does that have to do with the story Together Forever? Well, you see, Rosie Porkchop is a Springlock animatronic designed for both animatronic and suit, just like Golden Freddy and Spring Bonnie. However, her programming is grabbing people and trapping her inside of her stomach cavity, very similar to Circus Baby. And as you hear by Circus Baby's voice lines, this is why I believe that Golden Duo doesn't work with the story. And I think this story is trying to tell us that Circus Baby has Cassidy's remnant and Elizabeth's soul. I think this is what the story is trying to tell us this entire time, and nobody even noticed it. Okay, now on to our last event in this theory is that Golden Freddy's signature line has always been "It's me" in capital letters. He said it in Five Nights at Freddy's 1. He said it in Curse of Dreadbear. He even said it in the logbook. However, according to Princess Quest, it has been confirmed that the princess's name is Cassidy, and there is an encryptic message in the files called "It's me." And yeah, that line literally belongs to Cassidy this entire time. Many people keep saying that this line belongs to the bite victim, but I'm not sure that's the case. And I also don't believe that's the case because in the Curse of Dreadbear Easter egg, the Easter egg of Curse of Dreadbear, when you're inside the barn, you very rarely get 3 posters with Circus Baby's face on it. And when you throw the darts at them, all 3 of them, and you hear a honk, you get a Golden Freddy Easter egg. So yeah, this is more evidence that Cassidy's remnant is inside Circus Baby. And yeah. So yeah, that was the purpose of the "It's me" line. So yeah, Golden Freddy also recognizes Michael, and that's why he says "It's me" to Mike. But this is not evidence for Mike fully because BB5 was already weak evidence. And as explained in this video, you can see why Golden Duo doesn't even work with the story of Five Nights at Freddy's. One more thing. If you haven't already watched my video on why Cassidy is the bite victim's biological sister, I prefer you going to my channel and watching that first before you watch this one, because the "It's me" line is a bit wonky, but as long as you watch that video, you would totally understand the purpose of the "It's me" line. The purpose of "It's me" close of this video,